I've been thinking about selling the buggy for a few months, and the time has come. The Dune buggy is for sale. If you're local, you can look it up on Facebook Marketplace. That seems to be kind of the easiest way to sell anything anymore. I feel like it's kind of run its course. I've had a lot of fun. I was thinking of like what has been the funnest times I've had in the car. I think the funnest time has got to be the trip to Pismo has been the funnest time. And the time I spent with my son driving the car has been the funnest thing. When we went and took pictures for the territory ahead, that was super fun. It's definitely bittersweet. I am sad to be, moving on from the car. I got it exactly how I want it. There's not much I would change to the car. You could always spend more money on the engine and make it faster, but really it runs great. It drives great. I've enjoyed it. Getting it to the place where it is has been, the one of the funner parts, and then just going on trips with my son. There'll be other cars. I don't know if they'll be as fun, but I'm just ready to move on. I've thoroughly enjoyed owning the car. The time is right for me to just move to something else. Honestly, I don't see myself getting another Dune buggy. I still have the 63 Beetle. I'm enjoying that, although I don't know how long I'll own that as well. I kind of go through these phases. And then I have a 1998 Chevy Cheyenne that I've had for, I guess, about 5 years now. And I've done lots of little things to it. And I plan on keeping that forever, basically, just because I have a philosophy that everyone needs a pickup truck. Any kind, the cheapest one you can find, as long as it's reliable. Things just come up in life. You need to move a couch. You need to move a chair. You need to move a bunch of lumber or bricks or dirt or something. You need a pickup truck. I will always have a pickup truck. Banana Slug is going somewhere else. I'm selling it with the wheels and tires that are on it, the surfboard, the rack. Everything you see on the car comes with the car. Tow bar, all the little accessories. It's a little bit bittersweet. I get this way with cars where I get them just how I want them, and then you're kind of like, now what? So who knows what's in the future? Thanks for following the journey. So I expect it because it's the right time of year. It's middle of April, but this is Dune buggy weather. I'll be driving it this weekend, and yeah, this is actually the prime Dune buggy weather, and it was just the right time for me to move on. I'm gonna miss it, and I usually regret selling any car I have. It's always exciting to move to the next car and get to work on that and get to fix it and make it how you like it. And that's, to me, like one of the most rewarding parts of owning cars. And I'm a car nut. I love all kinds of cars. I've enjoyed this car, and I'm just ready to, let it go. And on to the next one. I hope someone really enjoys it and uses it, gets lots of years of joy out of it like I have. That's just an update. There's more to come. I want to talk about my truck. I'm still working on my Beetle. And I'm just waiting on parts. It might be in this episode. It might be in the next episode. I don't know. They're all just kind of like, when I get done talking about something, I move on to the next thing. So yesterday, I had a buyer contact me. And if you've sold cars before, that could mean anything. Someone says, hey, I'm on my way. That could mean they never contact you again. Right? Or it could mean they're around the corner. I've sold a lot of cars, I bought and sold a lot of cars, just as part of my hobby. So yesterday, in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in for Dune buggies, someone said they were looking for a car. Someone had listed another Dune buggy, and so I listed mine. So this person seemed serious because they were driving a bit of a distance. Someone's coming an hour away, then you got to take them somewhat seriously. Sure enough, this really nice lady showed up. I showed her the car. We did a test drive. She liked it, and she bought the car. As soon as she left, I definitely felt regret, which is just is normal. But then, a couple hours pass, and I actually feel really good about it, just because I feel like it's going to a really good home. I feel like it's going to a person who's going to enjoy it, use it as was intended for fun. I think she's going to have a lot of fun with it. I'm glad to see it go to someone responsible who I don't think is going to flip it or trash it or do anything mean to it. I'm the type of car person that thinks that cars kind of have a soul. Kind of what you put into the car, gives it that life, gives it that soul. And that car had a lot of care put into it. I really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun owning that car. I'm definitely going to miss it, miss the feeling you get when you drive that car, the feeling it gives other people. It was just really a happy car that made other people happy. I think that's rare, for most regular cars. It was a rare car. It was a special car. It was definitely a special car is how I look at it. It was definitely a memorable car, a unique car. I think that's what made it so cool. And they do make them again, but the amount of trouble you'd have to go through to recreate that car. I mean, I've talked lots about Myers-Manx, and I think it's great that they're making bodies. Through inflation and just the cost of materials, the fact that they're like $6,000 to $7,000, that's just for the body, right? Just the body, uncut, unprepared. You still have to wire the car. You have to find a donor car. You have to cut that car in half, the chassis, pull the body off, shorten the chassis, put it all back together, put the body on, and then wire it. Literally cutting holes in fiberglass. That's a lot. That's a lot for a regular person. If you're not mechanically inclined or an automotive person, that's a lot. So, when it's all said and done, you're at least $10,000. Still, affordable for a really unique car, but that's if you do all the work yourself. So I don't know. So I think dune buggies are great. And it was funny. She and I had a conversation. She goes, why are some of the cars I'm looking at are $25,000, $35,000, and some of them, like yours, are very affordable? And I just said that's the difference between a real Myers-Manx and a clone. And then also anything new, right? If it's a new Myers-Manx, the body alone was $6,000, $7,000. A donor car, you can buy a bug for $500, really rough one. For an okay running Volkswagen, say, you could find one for $2,000, right? They're out there. It might not run great, but you can, so between, let's say $7,000 for the body, $2,000 for the car, and then how much labor, if it's you, it's free. If it's someone else, that's a lot of hours to build that car. So the biggest difference though is if it's a Survivor Myers-Manx, that's pretty big, and if it's a new Myers-Manx, someone just sunk $10,000 to $30,000 into the car. The gentleman that I met up in, was it Auburn? He's selling his car, John. His car is listed at, I think, around $32,000. And I talked to him on the phone and I said, I think you're priced right. That's as good as a dune buggy can get with it wasn't a Volkswagen chassis. It was I can't remember the guy's name, but it was like a real off-road tube chassis, like really well built, a really nice motor, and then finished like super professionally and like just so neatly. All new gauges, everything was new, right? So $32,000 to me that's a good deal for that car. That's definitely what he had into it, with everything being new or the best you could buy. He didn't buy anything. He didn't put anything on that car that wasn't well picked out and well designed and made. Everything on that car was like the best stuff you could buy. As far as I'm concerned, for regular people, not for racing, just for regular dune buggies, it was top notch. My car was mostly original. Everything on that car was original Volkswagen or, the only mechanical things that were done to that car that I did, like wheels and tires, the brakes had been gone through, but that's like every Volkswagen. You gotta, that's normal. A distributor and that's it. Some oil changes, nothing else, nothing major. So that's a testament to Volkswagen toughness and sturdiness. They're just tough little cars. Yes, I'm sad to see it go. I'm happy where it went. I feel good about where it ended up. And I'm glad that it's going to continue to live life somewhere and get used and enjoyed. That's a good feeling. I'm on to working on my 63 Beetle. I don't know what the future holds for that car. I don't know how long I'm going to own that car. I haven't updated, but I've sent parts away. I don't know how many times I've talked about this, probably a few, but I'm still waiting on some parts. The trailing arms are getting modified to give me more clearance. That takes time, and I sent it to someone that was recommended to me who had a really good reputation. It takes as long as it takes. So the car is in my garage on jack stands. I didn't go to Madeira. I wanted to go to the Madeira Volkswagen show. I did not make it, and I I still wanted to go just in my regular car just to go to the show. I don't know. I was tired from working, and the distance, that's an hour and 40 minutes from my house. You know, and it was a rainy day, so it was just all these things lined up against going. So I didn't go. So I don't have anything to show you from that show. I also missed the San Jose Kelly Park show, which I did want to go to. What's next? What's coming up? So obviously the Dune Buggy is gone. So if you watched my channel for the Dune Buggy, there won't be any more updates as far as I know. I'm just kind of moving on. I enjoyed the hobby. I enjoyed that car. I do want to say this, that the community of Dune Buggy owners and enthusiasts is tremendous. They were, you know, I've said it in other videos, really warm, really inviting, really friendly, and really helpful, and, you know, love those cars and are so inviting to everyone who comes into the hobby. If you are thinking about buying a Dune Buggy, you absolutely should, and then you should join the Myers-Manx Club. It doesn't matter if you have a Myers-Manx. A Dune Buggy is a Dune Buggy to them. They love them all. So again, I want to thank all the people I met through that community that were just so gracious and so loving and so awesome. Just the best car people. You know, there's all these different communities in loving cars, as I do, and the Dune Buggy community is awesome. The car community in general, in my view, is great. I don't know. I always have great times at car shows. You know, I'm in my 40s, so everything I do with cars is legal, so there's no bad experiences. I used to go to Good Guys every year. That's a big car show that is held. The closest one to me is in Pleasanton. You want to go to a car show, go to a Good Guys event. You're going to see some crazy, awesome cars and a lot of good people and tons of vendors and autocross with like old cars, which you're watching these old Camaros, fucking, you know, guys have just poured their hearts and souls into these cars and they handle so good. And so I can't recommend Good Guys enough. That's a great car show. I've been going to, in Stockton, there's a few lowrider shows that I've gone to. I might have missed it this year again. I went last year to the Impalas show. Great show, big show. Tons of cars, tons of people, really well attended. Food, it took a long time to get food. There was a lot of people there, and that was in Stockton at the fairgrounds. And I got to look it up and see if I missed it this year, because that was fun. That's an area I'm looking at. You know, what's next? It was funny. The lady who bought my Dune Buggy mentioned Corvettes, and I was like, you know, she was saying Dune Buggies were a dream car, and I was like, yeah, you know, my grandfather had a Dune Buggy, and so it's kind of been in my blood. She had family that had Dune Buggies, so it's kind of in her blood, so it makes sense. And then she said people will say, oh, Corvette's my dream car, and I'm just like, I've had one Corvette and I miss it, and I should have never sold it. I had a C5. It was like a 2000, and fun car, because I'm thinking about what's next. And you know, what I want is a 2010 2011 C6 Grand Sport, probably in an automatic. You know, I prefer a stick, but at this point, I also say this like she's ever going to drive it. I want my wife to be able to drive it, and she doesn't like driving stick. You know, it's a hassle, and I know if I got in a neat car with a stick, she'd be like, yeah, that's your car. I don't drive cars like that, because it's, you know, it's a pain in the butt. But if I bought an automatic, I think she'd enjoy driving it. I don't know. She's not like me. She's not a car nut, so we'll see. But I want it in blue. I don't mind the gray. I like white. I like black. I'm okay with the silver, and some of the reds are okay. I don't really care for the yellow in the Corvette, which is weird because my Dune Buggy was yellow. There's a really nice blue one that I like the most. And then the really bright red one is cool. There's a lot of colors. I'm really into the blue for some reason. That's just kind of my preference. But there's a weird gray blue that's okay. I'm kind of a long ways from getting to that. It's even though they made like less Grand Sports, they made a lot of Corvettes. That's the thing, is these guys will be like, I want $30,000, and the blue book is $20,000. You're like, you're way off, and they won't budge, and they don't care what you say. And you're like, okay. So the C5 that I owned, I bought at a very reasonable price, and I got it to not leak anything. I got the AC to work well, which took a lot. I had to watch a bunch of YouTube videos to figure out like the AC controllers are super expensive, remanufactured. Basically, someone goes and finds them in a junkyard, resolders them, and puts them back, and sends you, and you send them yours, and they just repeat the process. They wanted like $700. I watched YouTube, borrowed a soldering iron. 5 minutes later, it was fixed. I had the compressor, the dryer, and all the other parts. I had all that stuff, but the actual controlling it and getting cold air into the car was a pain in the butt. Maybe a Corvette, but for lowriders, I like the 65 Impala. That would be if I was gonna buy an old car. I like C10s, I like old trucks. There's a few that are on there that people want way too much money for them, but the market is the market, and they're for sale for long periods of time. So I need to go lowball some people. I'm not close to, acquiring anything. I have to sort out what I have. I haven't really talked about, I have a truck. I've mentioned it a few times in other videos, and it is just one of my favorite vehicles. It's not my favorite vehicle of all time. It was funny, my wife asked me yesterday, she goes, what's the one car you regret selling? And I had a really nice 67 Malibu Chevelle that I regret selling, that I should still have that car. That was I didn't care for the color, but it was such a solid car. Zero rust, just, a 350, Edelbrock intake, Holley carb, nice car, ran great, power steering, power brakes, had a bench seat, which some people don't like. I like that. Had a column shift, it was probably a granny 6-cylinder back in the day. When I had it, it was a great car. That was a car I should have never sold, 67 Chevelle. Neat car. And then at the same time, I had a 66 4-speed Mustang that was like fully restored. I don't know why I let either one of those cars go, but I did. So those cars I definitely regret selling. Will I regret selling the dune buggy? Yeah, I'm sure. I always say this all the time. I need a warehouse, and I would keep all the cars, but you never can. I don't have the room, and yeah, usually when you sell a few cars, that funds the next car. So that's how I get from one to the next. I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic on what comes next. I don't know what it is. I was talking about my pickup. Sorry. One of my favorite cars. I bought it for $1,900 from a young guy. It has almost 350,000 miles on it, and it's a V6, which is why I think it's never been stolen, which is a good thing. And it's manual windows, manual locks. It's an automatic. I got the air conditioning working. I've lowered it. That's it. That's all I've ever done. I put wheels and tires, and that's it. And it's been a great car. Great truck. It's fun to drive. I just feel cool when I drive it. And it's cheap. I don't have a lot of money into it. I don't know what it's worth. I could sell it, but it's worth more to me to keep. That's one car or truck vehicle that I never plan on selling. I've said that a lot. I said that about the dune buggy, so you never know. And then my daily driver is a 2004 Tahoe that I do like, and I've got it kind of the way I want it. All I've done is rims and tires, but I'm kind of bored. It's not very fun to drive. It just does all the things I want a vehicle to do. It's got lots of storage. It's 4 doors. It's reliable. It's 4-wheel drive. I went to the snow 0 times this year. I think I've gone once in it, and I did use 4-wheel drive, so there's once. Sometimes commuting to San Francisco, I drive to Sacramento for work. I want something fun to drive. I want something, it doesn't even have to be efficient or economical. It's just got to be fun to drive. And the Tahoe is just comfortable, semi-practical as far as the amount of, you have a lot of space. That's basically it. It gets 13 miles to the gallon. Could tow the buggy really well. Well, I don't have the buggy anymore, so now what? So we'll see what the future holds. I'm leaning towards Corvette just because, I don't drive fast very often, but it's nice to drive, have the option to go fast. And none of my vehicles, my pickup's a V6. It's a pig. It's not going anywhere fast. The Tahoe is super slow. I don't ride motorcycles anymore, which they were always fast, and you could go fast anytime you wanted. But as far as cars go, I have 0 fast cars, and like I said, I'm in my mid-40s and I don't drive fast very often. But when you want to drive fast, it's nice to have that option. The saga on the '63 Beetle continues. The dune buggy is gone. Sad to see it go. Such a great car, and happy that it went to a good home. I am far from getting something new, so it'll be I'll just be working on the '63 and getting that running and driving and back on the road, and we'll go from there. So thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you next time.